All right, welcome back to today's video. It's been about 3 months since I've posted my last YouTube video. It's been for good reason because we've got a ton of new things on the way. If you are, of course, new here, my name is Brock Wonder. I am a street and lifestyle photographer based in Toronto and now also building a lot of content around social media strategy with Wonder Studios. And why we decided to make this video today is because probably the most important part of any content creator's journey on social media is learning how to keep engagement and attention throughout your content. And that really comes from learning what works best in your content editing to really keep pacing and move things along. And transitions are a massive part of that. So before we can jump into actually showing you the behind the scenes on how to make transitions, we first need to talk about why you should use transitions for your videos. Transitions are the secret spice to making your videos that much more engaging. They'll keep your viewers locked on your content for longer by including tactics like framing hacks, match cuts to make travel videos, or color and fading transitions to really up the level of our storytelling. Transitions help people remember your videos. Maybe you've done something that they haven't seen before, or you've done a transition so unique that they have to save it and rewatch it for later because it was just that good. All in all, transitions are a way to impress your audience with your creativity. All right, and so on that note, we're gonna jump into today's video. We are in lovely Unionville, Markham. It's a nice spot in town. It's a little more quiet, allows us the freedom to run around. We're gonna be talking about the most important transition that any content creator should learn. Head on over to our first location and show you the behind the scenes. All right, we're at our new location and we're gonna shoot the simplest transition for your travel videos. And it's called match framing. This is where you use similar framing elements in order to move from one location to the other. And we have the old fire hall behind me. We're gonna use that location in tandem with another one to essentially create a swinging motion through the frame in order to literally transport across different destinations. And you could use match framing in a few different ways. For example, you could have someone walking across your frame, matching different destinations to each of their steps, or center framing your subject, walking forward and changing the destination around them. As long as your motion lines up, then you can at least guess the amount of distance that you need to have between you and your subject very roughly. Because in the editing room, you can then scale the size of your clip to match the distance of one of your reference clips in order to make it all look similar. Very simple to do once you get the hang of it, because now we're gonna go ahead around Unionville and take advantage of using our next transition, which is speed ramp. All right, so you got to see a little bit of Unionville with that B-roll. The most important thing that any content creator can learn is speed ramping. The reason why is because it helps blend different clips together in order to transition between different scenes. What you do when you're speed ramping is taking the beginning and the end of different clips and ramping them into each other by either 2xing, 4xing, or 8xing the speed at times to smoothly blend the storyline throughout and create more interesting visual elements. But I will say speed ramping probably deserves its own video of its own. So if that is something that you want to see, drop a comment down below. So with that, we're gonna hop on in to our third reel transition, which is a little bit more common for Instagram Reels. Match cuts is the most common transition that you're gonna see on social media, especially in the fashion niche. The way that it works is by lining up your compositions and then having a similar action or subject get cut into frame. For example, you can either do this by jumping, sitting, or walking, and then matching the movement of your subject by changing everything else around it. And this will take us to transition 4, which is something that most YouTubers don't really want you to know about. My favorite video transition is called an exposure transition. This is where you take your ambient environment with what you're doing and fade to black or to white by changing the exposure of where you're at. And so for our example, we're gonna take our phone, record ourselves waving to the camera for our vlog, put it into our backpack, fade to black, and then open up the bag in a completely new spot in order to transition to a new scene. The trick is to just make sure that the exposure level is the same, moving scene to scene, and this way you'll create a seamless cut that will take you anywhere that you need to go in your video. And the most underrated transition that you could possibly do as a content creator is called a color transition. And this is where instead of fading to black or to white with your exposure levels, you're instead using similar colors to move from scene to scene. And so from this example, I'm gonna be walking forward on the street. We're gonna pan the camera up towards the sky, and then using the sky as our starting point in the next clip, pan back down, and I'm gonna be in a different spot. And this works because we're going from one shade of blue to the next and dissolving between the two clips. All right, and this is gonna take us to the final part of today's video, which involves getting a nice bubble tea. So we're gonna pop on over to the alley, one of my favorite spots, grab a bubble tea, and then show you what you can do with any drink in your hand as a transition. Okay, so we got our tea, the sun's going down, so we're gonna wrap up today's video with our last transition, which is an item transition. You can do this with any item possible, but it's really common to use with drinks because probably when you're in an airport and you're traveling, get yourself a coffee, walking with your phone in hand, tap the lens, and you're good to go. So all you need to do is you take your drink, go right up to your camera lens, and reveal, and you'll be at your new location ready to continue your story. So with that, I hope you enjoyed today's video. A quick one, just to get things rolling again. We're gonna have a new video come out every single week. Lots more shorts and a lot more photography coming out on Instagram with social media strategy along the way. So with that, I'm gonna say thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.